Good morning and welcome to Fort Zeller Elementary School. This is your principal, Mr. Lin, and I hope that you had a wonderful Wednesday yesterday. Today is Thursday, March 14th, 2019. It is day 2. Now, before we kick off this wonderful day, think about the character trait we are highlighting all this month. That is honesty. Yesterday, I had a really good conversation with 2 students about honesty, and I want to encourage you to really stop and think about what honesty means to you. We all know by now that we are trying to show honesty by telling the truth. And telling the truth is one of the easiest things to do when you've done everything that is asked of you and you've done it the right way. However, honesty can be one of the hardest things to do, especially when you are challenged to own up to poor decisions and mistakes that you might or might not have meant. Sometimes we don't want to be honest because we are simply embarrassed. Sometimes we don't want to tell the truth because we don't want to get in trouble. Sometimes it's okay to stop and think about telling the truth because it is the right thing to do. It's an act of bravery and courage. So I encourage you to tell the truth and show honesty in every aspect of your life, not just here in school. Now, I also want to talk about our Race for Education fundraiser. As you know by now, we are well underway with the Race for Education fundraiser. We've got a number of students all over in every classroom who have taken the lead with raising money. Some classes through the CrowdRise campaign have taken a commanding lead. So for the first time ever, I'm going to share with you the classes that have taken the lead with the fundraiser. In first place, Miss Kane, your class, your second grade class is the top fundraiser at this moment. Miss Lucky, second grade, you are the second highest fundraising class at this moment. And then Mr. Gantz, you are in the third place position, although I have to say the tops with our first grade classes. And then Miss McDonald, your class is in the fourth place position. And finally, Miss Yoakum's AM morning kindergarten class, you guys rounded out at the fifth place position. We have other classes that follow shortly behind, and we don't know. Who knows? The leads are going to change. We're only in the beginning into the middle of the month. Many classes may be collecting more money, and as they register and as our PTO checks it out, they will publish new rankings. So congratulations to the first group of teachers. Hopefully you guys can maintain the lead, but don't rest too easy. We have other classes coming up and catching in, coming in and catching up. Okay. Don't forget that the Mindful March Kindness Challenge is still going on. Yesterday, you were asked to stop, breathe, and notice, and then repeat. It's a calming technique. I don't know if you knew this. Yesterday, we welcomed many of our new kindergarten families, or they'll be new here at Fort Zeller next year. And as part of that, I, as a principal, had to get up and speak to all of the families. They're all strangers, most of them at least. And I would be lying if I told you I wasn't nervous. I was. But I remembered the challenge. I stopped. I breathed. And I noticed the crowd. And I didn't judge it for being a rough crowd, a big crowd. It was simply a crowd. It was just a bunch of people I had the opportunity and the blessing to speak to. And for all of that, by following that challenge, I was able to calm myself down, and I felt like I did a pretty decent job sharing all the great things that we do here in Elko as well as Fort Zeller. So hopefully you had a moment where you stopped and you breathed and you noticed, and then you did it again. We'll share the new kindness challenge later on at the end of the morning announcements. But for now, I do want to remind you that our 3 expectations here at the school are: number 1, be respectful; number 2, show that you are responsible; and number 3, show that you are ready to learn, ready to ride the bus, ready to eat in the cafeteria, ready to play ball in PE, ready to listen and appreciate music in music class. There's all sorts of different kinds of readiness. I encourage you to be respectful and responsible and show that you are ready. Now at this moment, I want to invite you to take a seat as I am. You can sit at a chair, you can sit on a cushion, you can lay down, you can stand up. But assume a comfortable position just as I am right now, not too rigid, not too slouched, not too relaxed, but aware and comfortable in this setting of ours. Then, if you are comfortable, you may simply close your eyes. But if you don't want to, that is okay. You may lower your gaze, soften it, focus on a point in the classroom or on the floor, and take a very intentional breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. I think I did a pretty good job with this first breath, but I want to be even more mindful about this second breath. So go ahead and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Yesterday morning, a friend of mine, a first grader, came in and shared with me a new breathing technique that he thought of. And he used his hands to rise as he breathed in and lower as he breathed out. And I liked it so much that I want to share it with you. So breathe in and raise your hands. Fill your belly and breathe out. Now I want to give you a few seconds of practices on your own. As you continue to focus on your breathing and this technique, you may expand your awareness to everything else that is going on in this present moment. And if your mind wanders, simply tug your attention back to your breath. You may begin. Use your five senses to sense the surrounding in which you are existing. Allow the gravity of your weight to be supported by the floor or the cushion or the chair. And if your mind wanders, bring it back to your breath. In and out. As you breathe in, study it. Know that you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, be intentional and know that you're breathing out. Now, in a moment, you'll hear a bell or a chime. Listen to it as it gets quieter and quieter, and when you can't hear it anymore, you may slowly awaken and open your eyes and soak in this wonderful world around you. Welcome to a new day right here at the Fort, where you are loved, where you are cared for, and where we want you to succeed. Now, whether you have a great day or not is ultimately your choice. So choose wisely, work at it, and enjoy the rewards. At this moment, please stand and face the flag, and we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. When we come back, I will share with you our new Mindful March Kindness Challenge for the day. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great job. Thank you so much. Now, today's kindness challenge is actually going to be a challenge because it deals with chores and tasks. Here it is. Enjoy doing any chores or tasks more mindfully today. Yeah, I know. I get it. Chores, How are you going to enjoy chores? Well, if you think about it with our mindful minutes, I often ask you to stop judging it. If you've already made the decision that you don't like chores, like homework could be a chore, taking the trash can be a chore. Well, if you don't like it, you've already placed a judgment on it. So for a moment, just step away from judging it as good or bad. And when you do that task, when you do that chore, just see it as a simple task. And every little bit of it that you are of effort and energy you put into it is a moment of gratitude that you are here in this present place and you're doing something. Perhaps the homework is challenging. Be grateful for that challenge. Okay? Now the other part about this is oftentimes with chores, we don't want to do those chores because we're more excited and interested in things you might do after the chores. Think about our mindful minute. Oftentimes I ask you to not let your mind get so caught up in the future because it hasn't happened yet. Just like we don't want to get so caught up in the past, things that have already happened that you really can't go back and change. The only time and place that you really have power over is right now. And if you allow yourself to let go of those things that you're looking forward to, it could be great things, and just really focus and be mindful of this present task, this chore, maybe that chore might become more enjoyable by itself. You don't have to force yourself to enjoy it. So anyways, it's an interesting challenge. I challenge you to try it, whether it's classwork, whether it's homework, whether it's something your teacher asks you to do that you don't typically want to do. For a moment, step away from the judgment, step away from all of those other things that you would rather do in the future. Just stop and appreciate that chore and that task. Your teachers will ask you about it. They certainly may even ask you to complete a few chores. Your parents will. Your family may. So think about it. Challenge yourself. And with that, let me set you off to a wonderful Thursday and into the end of this week with great anticipation. Can't wait to see you guys around. Have a wonderful rest of the day.